Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the SpiegelMom Scraps design team. And yeah, so I did a little bit of a haul recently and I bought the We Are Memory Keepers mini punch board, and I also found some 12 by 12 acetate sheets as well. So I really wanted to use the mini envelope punch board for a layout. I love putting envelopes on my layouts. They're really fun to do things with. You can fill them with things, you can have stuff exploding out of them, you could make a grid design with a whole bunch of them. So yeah, they're really versatile. But I decided to go a little bit out of the box and make some acetate envelopes. So I'm making some really little envelopes. I can't even remember the measurements. I think I tried to have it so that they would fit my photos in them, because obviously they're going to be see-through. But then I run into a little bit of a predicament of how to adhere these envelopes together to hold the sequins. So yeah, but we'll go through that as I'm going. I'm going to take you through one of the envelopes. I've just cut the acetate down to size. I have scored it and punched it with my little mini punch board, envelope punch board, and I'm just kind of forming that envelope now. And I'm going to trim down my photos, make sure that they fit. The photos are of Eddie and my husband. We went bowling, and this was him up at the thing with the little ramp and the bowling ball, with Eddie helping her kind of have a go. It was her first time bowling. She'd never done it before, and yeah, she did really well. I think from memory she beat us, but she did use a ramp and she did have the gutter guards, so I don't know whether you can actually call that a win. But yeah, she definitely classed it as a win. So here I am just trying to work out what I'm going to do. Those photos definitely fit in them, but I wasn't sure how I was going to make those envelopes stick together. So I'm just going to keep kind of planning. I'm going to look through and try to find something for my background. I like the idea of going busy with that one that I pulled out before that has all the little writing and icons on it, but I decided maybe pink might be good. So I'm just kind of stacking them. I want to have kind of a vertical stack up my page, and I'm just trying to work it out. I've got 4 photos, but that's an even number, and that's, if I do 4 envelopes, it's not going to be too pleasing on the eye. So I'm just going to continue kind of working out what I'm going to do with these envelopes. So I'm going to cut a little bit of pattern paper from the 6x8 paper pad. I'm using the Crepe Paper All Heart collection, by the way, if you didn't already know. And I'm just cutting down a bit of that paper to fit inside the envelope. Didn't cut it quite to size. Still a little bit big. Trim down a little bit more. We'll trim it again. And there we go, it fits. So I decided I'd go busy with the pattern papers inside the envelopes, and that's a great way to get some pattern on the paper. And then I'm going to fill the envelope with some sequins. So I'm just grabbing a few. I'm taking out the ones that I didn't want. There's certain colours I didn't want on the page. I think we've got some bronzy ones in this mix. So I'm just kind of picking them out. It's okay, no big deal. And I'm not overloading envelopes too much. So I'm doing a random mix of colours, just trying to combine them with the colours that are in the collection. Great thing about the sequins is that you can find a colour of sequins or a mix to match anything, really. It's really not hard to do, so that's what I love about sequins. So this was how I decided I was going to kind of seal those envelopes. I'm just popping a little bit of adhesive, double-sided adhesive tape on the top portion, and then I'm going to cover it with my photos. So that was my solution. I was going to use my tiny attacher, but we moved recently, and I have my tiny attacher, but I cannot for the life of me find the staples to fill it. So I can't staple anything because I've run out of staples. So yeah, double-sided tape is the next solution. Okay, so I've done that. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 2 envelopes. I don't make you watch it. And I've settled on this dark blue background with the pink plus signs. I think everything kind of really pops off that darker background so much better. So I'm just finishing off this last envelope, popping in a real mix of sequins. I've got some of this as one of the exclusive National Scrapbook Day sequin mixes that came out. They are gorgeous. If you missed out on them, then you probably should have been a little bit quicker because they are stunning. But yeah, So I had a little bit of a mix up. Some of my sequins will go behind the pattern paper. I didn't want to waste them, so I just had to kind of take it out and refill them again, but that's okay, no big deal. We'll just finish that off, and I'm going to do the same with the double-sided tape, just kind of sealing up that section enough so that those sequins won't come flying out. I haven't used any really tiny ones, so they should stay in there, as long as I don't pop my albums upside down. I don't know anyone that really does that. You never know. They should stay in there. And then I'm popping a little square of adhesive foam at the top of the photos underneath the top flap of that envelope, just to give a bit of dimension within those envelopes. My fourth photo, I've decided I'm not going to do a fourth envelope. Like I said, odd numbers are pleasing to the eye, so I'm going to layer that down the bottom and make it a little bit more of a heavier cluster down there, and that's going to help me kind of draw your eye from, I guess, the top to the bottom of the page, with all those photos kind of stacked through the center. Okay, I'm going to trim off my branding strip because I don't need that. Just do that super quickly. And now I can kind of start to design the rest of the page. Now I'm going to add some white Liquitex acrylic ink first, some splatters, just to kind of break up that background, add a bit of interest. And I'm following that line where the photos and my embellishments and title are going to be, so it's all kind of flowing in this line, keeping the momentum down that page. And we've come back, that's nice and dry. I can pop my envelopes back in place, and I can start the embellishment process. I'm going to go through the die cuts first. There's so many bits in here that would just work absolutely perfectly for this layout. I mean, that giant piece here, I really wanted to get it on, but it kind of took your eye away from everything else that was going on the page and those gorgeous sequins, and so I do end up eventually taking it off. But like I said, this collection's like really fun and just random bits, and I thought that would go awesome with the bowling theme. I'm going to chuck some roller skates on there. My daughter doesn't own roller skates. I don't even own roller skates. But I don't know, I guess the bowling alley kind of reminds me of like the old school days where you were a kid and you would go roller skating and do all that kind of random stuff. So they're going on the layout, as well as some sunglasses too, when I get there eventually. So I've gone through the die cut pack, I'm quite happy with those pieces. I'm going to go through the 12x12 chipboard sheet and pull out some of those harder to use random style pieces. So we've got that little peace sign with the fingers, some sunglasses. I'm just peeling off the adhesive backing before I put them on my layout, just so in case I don't want to commit, I can still move them around. This large chipboard piece says yay for today. That's going to go at the bottom of my photo. I like this fun one too. That was really cool. It's kind of echoing that sentiment that's in the top one. There goes that large die cut piece, and I'm going to start to kind of go through the other embellishments now. We've got the sticker sheet. There's so many pieces in this collection that I want to use. I did find this on the sticker sheet. It says "Girl, you got this," and that's going to end up being my title. It just kind of does the work for me. So I'm popping it up on some foam squares, and that fits really nicely stacked in the center of those three photos. So it's all kind of combining them all together now, which I really like, and goes really well with the photo, like the theme. She's having a go at bowling. A little rainbow, because why not? I'm going to pop that one up on some foam as well, just to add some dimension. A little flower, random flower, why not? And a butterfly. I'm going to tuck that at the end, just kind of adding to those layers within those clusters now. A little soda can. I decided to pop that little holographic die cut piece at the end of the rainbow because that sorts out that funny spot where the rainbow ends, but there's nothing kind of grounding it, so yep, that's going there. Some little sentiments I'm trying to get on the page, and I shoved that little soda can to the right of that bottom photo as well. So this little yellow sentiment I really liked, so I wanted to get that in. I'm just tucking it under that word fun, and I'm going to just kind of trail off my embellishments from that yellow sticker down the bottom shortly when I get there. Just adding some more pieces, a little chipboard, hearts. And I did try one of these charms, but it doesn't make it onto the layout. I felt like it was kind of surplus to requirements and a little bit wasted. I've got a thing with charms on layouts. Like, I feel like they could be so much better used than where I place them on a layout. So instead of me just wasting them and putting them on a layout, I'll save them for probably a mini album or something like that. I feel like they're much better used as a decoration on one of them than sitting on my layout. That's just my opinion. Some puffy stickers now. I did get one of those really thick, chunky glitter acrylic hearts on. I like that, and I've just popped a pair of sunglasses on it because why not? This is one of those layouts where I go a little bit crazy and have a bit of fun. I love those days when you can do that. Still just adding puffy stickers around the page. Another little pair of roller skates. Just thinking, what else can I add? A little speech bubble with some hearts, I think it has, just up the top, and that's kind of trailing that cluster out up to the top. Now I can glue it all down, so I'm just going to pull everything off and basically set it in stone. I'm going to pull up the entire acetate pockets and just pop ATG tape there, pop them in place, and then just kind of glue those other embellishments in and around each of those envelopes. Pretty sure I don't make you watch it all. There we go. That's all done. And now the last, the best bit to the layout, I think, is a whole whack of sequins. So I'm using the sequins pretty much that I've popped in those envelopes, and I'm just kind of mixing them all up and have them kind of exploding out of those that central area of the design, and just having them in big sprays going out. I love this look. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just basically chucking them on, no rhyme or reason. I don't mind if they're touching each other. I want that random look. So I'm just, where they land is pretty much where they get glued. So I just go ahead and kind of pick them up with my tweezers, stick them to the tip of them, and then just pop a little bit of glue. And I try my best not to move them from where they were sitting, because I like the sporadic nature of how they fell. And if they're overlapping, that's fine. I try to glue them overlapping as well. It just adds to the haphazard nature. So I hope I don't make you watch me glue them all down. No, I don't. I think I skip through shortly. It's pretty simple, but they add such a great effect to the layout. So much sparkle and so much colour too. They're a great way to get pops of colour, of a certain colour where you need it. So there we go. Just finishing off my last few drops of sequins onto the layout, and I'm not sure what I'm going to add. I think I want to mount it on something else. Yeah, a bit of white cardstock. So I'm just going to trim down a little bit of each side of the layout, about 1/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to mount it on that white cardstock, and that's just going to give a nice little border and lighten up the edges. I feel like sometimes dark backgrounds just kind of make everything seem a little bit heavy, so if you pop a bit of a lighter colour or even white cardstock around the edges, it kind of lifts everything up and just makes it a little bit more brighter. Not that everything on the layout isn't bright, but yeah. I'm just going to quickly distress the edges and then adhere it to the white cardstock. So after that, that'll be pretty much it for my layout. I really enjoyed this process. I love the look of the layout. And don't forget, if you shop at the SpiegelMom Scrap Shop, you can use the code Virginia15 to get 15% off your purchase. But until next time, bye guys.